Okay, now we are going to start up with Hibernate jars. What are the jar files which is available and what are the uses of those particular jar files? Now, could you please list out which all the jar files required in JUnit?
The JUnit jars.
What is that jar files? What is that JUnit jar? JUnit 4.jar. That's what I have downloaded just now. Correct now? When it comes to this particular Hibernate, we have certain list of jar files which is required for performing the operations. I think I have explained about XML, right, for you? Whereas, see, in Hibernate, we are writing all our configuration details in hibernate.configuration.xml. Correct now? Whereas, for reading the content from that particular XML file, we need to make use of one jar file, that is DOM for J. Right up? DOM for J.
DOM
for J. Okay, now? This is meant for parsing the XMLs. Totally 2 XMLs are there. Okay, na? Any questions? I'll ask. Okay. Whereas this version though, XML we are making use. In upcoming versions, XMLs will not be there. Annotations will come into picture. Their DOM for J jar file is required or not?
Yes, because we need to we're doing some retrieving all the from configuration, right?
Where there is no XMLs only over there.
But we need some jar files so that the program will understand that these annotations having these predefined meanings, so that they can, like this program can understand.
Okay. When that scenario comes, I'll show you that.
I don't
Okay,
think
na?
so DOM 4J will be there.
Then whichever.
Because it is meant for parsing, you told.
Yeah, this is
And
meant
there
for
is no
parsing.
parsing only. We are not passing from XML to this one. We are giving directly access through annotation only. Na?
Yes, we are giving directly and whatever the access which we are providing. Okay, so here though we are reading the content, so DOM for J is not required over there, you are saying. Okay, when that scenario comes, I'll show you. Okay, na? Next. Which jar file is this? Okay. Next, write down log for J.
Yes, this one I will.
What is the use of log for J?
Log the files, what are the errors and what are the exceptions, we are getting all the things, we need to just upload things to we need to use log for J.
There, whenever I have executed the program yesterday, I was getting all the lines, which are the statements which is getting executed, which are the statements which is loading, all those things in red color lines it was showing, right?
In logger.
Yes, that particular logger, information, everything. Let me show you that. See, this info, all these things. Suppose if you got any error, it will show errors also, fatals, all these things. If you get in the console, otherwise in a log file, that will be designed by making use of log4j. Okay? Able to see the screen? Okay. Could you please tell me where the log4j is there in this thing?
Last.
Huh?
So good now.
Check out.
Here we are not exporting, right?
There are two different appenders available in log4j. One is a file appender, another one is console appender.
Yes, console.
Console appender.
Yes.
That means you are using log4j, right?
Yes.
Where is log4j?
This one.
At the console.
Apache.common.login.
One sec, sir. Whereas if you need to log that errors, if you need to push to console, you need to make use of that log4j jar file support. Got it? Where is that log4j in this program? If that is not there, that statements you cannot see in the console.
Yes.
Got my point? This is the jar file org.apache.coms.logging 1.1.1 jar file. Either you can directly go for log4j, otherwise you can make use of even this one also as your log4j. Is that clear? Any doubts? Okay.
So how they have simplified this all Java technology?
Simplified?
Creating a simple jar files, not simple jar files. If you add, it will add some function to that program.
In that,
functions.
yes, in that particular what you say jar file, so many logics they have written.
Yes.
All those class files are there.
Yes.
If not, we need to write that code.
Yes.
That's it. That is very hectic. That's what.
Like equals method. If they will not implement that equals method, we have to write all our own logic.
Yes.
There is a predefined meaning, so we'll only use that one.
Yes. Okay.
So it will show the information regarding program after execution.
Then commons.
So I have to write this one. Two parts. org dot Apache. jar.
Got it? Next, write down this commons. This one is there. org.apache.commons.collections.jar. Write down about this. Okay. This is the jar file which is meant for emailing. Next, logging the email details. All those things will be done over here. Logging, loggers, everything will be done over here. Next, and for enabling the cache memory in your system, like we have a primary cache as well as secondary cache. When that concept comes into picture, I'll be teaching you that. For enabling the cache, we have this cache jar files. Totally 2 jar files will be there. Cache. Okay, no? E-cache, this one. Next, that CG-lib is there. See, CG-lib is there now. Able to see? Where is that CG-lib?
From down the down.
Yes. Whenever CG-lib is there, it is meant for providing appropriate adjustment to your Java classes. That means based on the environment, if it has to adjust now the code, if it needs to be adjusted, then CG-lib will take care. CG-lib, this one.
Can you spell some com dot?
Com dot spring source dot net dot sf dot CG-lib. And there is no rule like this jar file name will be like this only, but CGLib is